Hey, it's Tom. Now, what you see before you here is a couple of Marbels knives. And let me give you a little backstory on this. I was talking to a brother at a blade, great member of the community, Mr. Gruggs, from over at Legion Tacticool Cutlery. If you don't have Gruggs on your list, get him on your list. He's a very cool guy, does a lot of lives, and he does the gambit of knives anywhere from $15 knives to $300 knives. So he reviewed these one time. Now, bear this in mind. Gruggs is a collector. He has some knives that he uses, but he is mostly a collector, okay? So he reviewed these knives, and I was actually looking at them. And I said to him, oh, wow, I was just looking at them. And he didn't like them. There's a lot of flaws in these knives. See the plunge mark there is off to the right-hand side, and see the guard is kind of crooked to the blade. And there's a lot of things here that he's right about. It just not right. This whole thing is messed up. But they're good little knives. So he said to me, well, if you want them, you can have them. I was like, sure. So that's what I mean about that community. You want them, you could have them. And he sends me two knives. So let's go over them real quick, because there's two different ones here, but same knife. This is a Damascus blade one. This is what do they call that? Snake pattern or something like that. But this is Damascus. It's an etched blade. It's not real Damascus. But they're 6.5 inches long. You got a sharpening choil there. As you've seen, it's an aluminum guard, which is off-centered anyway. There's brass spacers, along with red spacers, a bone handle, same spacers in the back with an aluminum pommel. All right. That's the Damascus one. Now, these are great knives. They're hunting knives. But they are absolutely, and they do have a 90-degree spine. They're absolutely great knives. They take a good edge, and they're holding them. Surprisingly, they're made in Pakistan. I'm surprised they were holding an edge. Now, this Pakistan Damascus, excuse me, this Pakistan Damascus is really hard to sharpen and get an edge on. You either got to use diamond stones or you got to use a ceramic bar. I got an edge on this one. It's not the greatest, but it's there. I don't know if all real Damascus is like that, but boy, this Pakistan Damascus is a bugger to get sharp. And this one here is the number of MR457. Okay. Now the sheath, really good sheath. Really nice, well-made sheath. Good leather. They're both the same for either knife. So if you order one, you're going to get the same sheath that any of them have. Now this one here is stainless steel. This one here is MR456. So this is stainless steel. Still 90-degree spine on the back. Plunge mark is all screwed up. Pommel's all screwed, or guard's all screwed up. But it has the bone handle. The spacers are different. You got copper, you got red, you got white, and then it runs backwards, and the same thing with the back end. Now, these are beautiful knives. And if you're going to buy them and you think you're getting perfection, you're not. I just showed you. They're all messed up. For a collector or anybody who likes his knives pristine, these are a mess. The reason why I wanted them is to say this. These knives are a mess for a collector. Or guys who like pristine knives. Okay? Sorry about the shaking. I'm doing this by hand. Now, if I'm out in the woods and I'm hunting, all I'm worried about is this knife going to take an edge, and is it going to hold it for the day of hunting? And is it easy to control? That's all I'm worried about. I don't care if the plunge mark is off to the left or right. I don't care if the guard's, turned. Well, I would care if it was turned backwards. But, if it's twisted, whatever. That's the difference in certain knife communities, is that And Gruggs is not one of these guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing him and saying anything bad about him. But for collectors, these are junk. But for a hunter, for a guy who's going to use the knife, coming from an old background of old woodsman, like me, not that I'm an old woodsman, but that's my background. Nobody would care less about that. They wouldn't even look to see if the plunge mark was off on the grind. All they would do is pick that knife up. It's well balanced, controllable. Tip it upside down for your upcuts. Yeah, that fits my hand nice. I can control the cuts, and if I got to skin something out, I gotta get a side grip on it. That's what they would do. And look at how long the blade length is, because years ago, 6 inches was the blade length that everybody wanted. That was your hunting blade, 6 inch. For small game, you use your pocket knife, but you still carried a fixed blade with you. Nowadays, I see guys out there that have bird and trout knives with 3-inch blades on there, and they're running through the woods on. So, times have changed. But seriously, look at these two knives. They are absolutely gorgeous. I would have loved to have one of these on my belt when I was hunting. If I was collecting, I'd throw them out. Like I said, some of them, this one here, the blade's a little bent on. The guard don't fit right. The plunge mark's way off. This set of spacers here, they're not flush with the handle, and the handle's kind of loose, and there's no way to tighten it up. So for a collector, I throw them out. Well, for a hunter and a guy that's going to be using his knives just for hunting or whatever, there's absolutely no reason not to buy something like this, even if they are made in Pakistan. I have some Pakistan knives that I've used and I loved, and they still hold an edge. So, Mr. Gruggs, that's why I asked if I could have them, just to give people an idea that collectors, if you hear them say a knife is junk, it's because they are to a collector. But to an average hunter, or a 20-year-old kid who's out hunting and fishing or whatever, these are absolutely gorgeous. And if I don't decide to keep them, I think I'm going to give them to my great nephew. I have 2 nephews, they're twins, and I think I might give them to them and let them use them. That's all they do is hunt. And they always complain that they can't find a good hunting knife, this, that, and the other thing. And I gave them 2 mores 4 or 5 years ago. 2 more companions I had. And the blades are all chipped to crap on them because they're breaking the leg bones and stuff on the blade like they were taught to do. And it's like, what, guys, I never thought it was, but they said they were phenomenal knives. They held an edge forever. They was cleaning deer and everything with them. But they just had them chipped to beat the band. They're like my son. He was rough on equipment too. So anyway, this is Tom. I hope you liked the video. I do appreciate your time and your patience. And remember, if you see a knife on a review or whatever and the guy's complaining about it, think about what he's complaining about, and would you use that knife for that reason? Is it going in your collection, or is it going on your belt to be a companion? Well, like I said before, no dissing to Mr. Gruggs. He's got a great channel. The guy knows his stuff, and I love watching him. And you should get over there and try him out. Give his channel a shot. You'd love it. So anyway, this is Tom. I want to thank you for your time and your patience. I hope you did like the video. You hit the like button. Not that I'm going to get paid for it, but it moves it up in the algorithm, and maybe people will watch more of it. So anyway, I want to thank you for your time and your patience, and we will see you guys on the next one.